everybody. Welcome to another episode of Double Cross Radio. I'm your host, Chuck Horton, and I'm coming to you live from my above-ground bunker. It's actually not much of a bunker. It's just a bedroom that's been converted into an office somewhere in Southern Oregon. And we're here tonight. We're trying to connect up with Telly Blackwood, also known as Leatherface, and he's trying to call in, and I didn't have the phones forwarded to me because we were trying to do this on Skype. And anyway, so if Jules, if you're listening out there, if you could forward the phones to me, that would be great. Then he could call in on his phone. I didn't get the phones forwarded to me today because I thought we were going to be up and running on Skype, but his Skype keeps cutting out. We had a record 1 minute Skype phone call so far out of 3 tries. So anyway, I'll give you a little bit of background on Telly Blackwood. I mean, some of you may know him as a professional wrestler. He was Leatherface. He's much, much, much more than that. I first actually became aware of him not as a wrestler, but as a guest on Alex Jones' show. And he's become quite a political activist. He had an entry in the Paul Revere contest that Alex Jones had that generated, I just checked it today, it's generated over 800,000 views. And it's a fabulous little 5-minute movie. Very, very good production values. And it's, this little movie that he submitted was up to 500,000 views, whatever, and suddenly YouTube suspended his account, which kind of took him out of the contest. And now that's been restored now, but this just kind of goes to show you that some people have pretty thin skins. I think some of the subjects that he had in the movie didn't like that they were part of the content, and they really weren't. There were people trying to play that part. But anyway, I'm going to try again as soon as I get a message from Jules here that we are. I'm not in the chat even today, so let me go into that. As soon as I get a message from her that I got the phones, I'm going to try have him call. This just kind of goes to show you that some people have pretty thin skins. There now. So anyway, we're having a little trouble connecting with Telly, and so if all you guys could just bear with me a little bit, I'm going to see if I can connect with him one more time on Skype, and see if I can add him to our call and get this show on the road. Let's see what we got here. There's no answer so far. There's an answer. I think we have Mr. Blackwood. Telly, is that you?
Yeah.
Hello? I can hear you. Need to turn up your microphone a little bit.
It's turning up all the way. It's got a little BS going, so it's up full blast.
It's really quiet. We're having trouble getting the phones. I didn't get the phones forwarded to me because I thought we were going to be a go on Skype. So we're kind of technically have challenged at this point.
I never had much luck with this Skype anyway.
Okay, I'll ask the people here in chat. Can you guys hear Telly at all? Any anybody out there that's listening? Can you guys hear Telly?
Yeah. Buddy.
Okay, they're just having a conversation about a cat. Okay, so that's how that goes. Whoops, he's just dropped off again. So that's not working too well. Well, last week we had a show about Hillary Clinton. And, okay, so Vince, is it possible that someone there could transfer the phones to me so he could try and call in? And because his Skype has just been, and it's just really hard to get a call that's going to stay connected. It just only lasts about a minute and then it drops. So, and when I get a message that says we have the phones forwarded, I will try and get him hooked up with a phone call. In the meantime, now last week's show we were talking about Hillary Clinton, and we were trying to bring out that all this stuff about the emails and her own private server, and suddenly a bunch of emails have been destroyed, and anyway, all that stuff was part of a pattern of behavior that she's been engaged in since she was, I don't know if she was married to Bill Clinton I think she was still, but this goes all the way back to when she was one of the lawyers working on the persecution of Richard Nixon, which was probably a justifiable prosecution, but she was fired from that. She was actually fired from that job because, let's see, we have a possibility here. So anyway, she was fired for actually unlawyerly conduct. She went on to become the first lady of Arkansas as the wife of the governor, and then as the first lady governor, whatever, she was involved in all sorts of, I would say, semi-criminal to criminal activities. The big one being that she wrote loan documents that basically allowed people to borrow money from banks without ever having to repay it, and there's no penalty due to them. And for doing that, the people that got these no payback loans, so I'm sure they all contributed handsomely to the Clinton re-election campaign. And when suddenly other people started to become aware of this, they had a shredding party at the Rose Law Firm, which is where she worked, and they destroyed all the evidence, just like she destroyed all her emails. And you can just go through her whole life and you can see how she doesn't think that laws apply to her, and she's just a criminal. And every time she gets caught, which is very often, but she's not a good criminal, she's not really that smart. Anyway, yeah, so let me give it. I'm gonna pause on my thing here. I gotta send a message to Telly, and this is not good here. We're gonna get this. Anyway, seems to get caught doing all sorts of stuff, and I think she thinks that just through her attitude, her demeanor, whatever, she can talk her way out of everything, or lie her way out of everything, whichever seems to work. Okay, I'm going to add you, Vince. Hang on here just a minute. Okay, so Vince, did we get you added? Are you there? Okay. I don't hear anything. So I don't know what number to call. Yes, that's right. The Skype is strong and Vince. So anyway, one of the projects that Telly has started on is he started a petition to arrest and prosecute Hillary Clinton, and I think that's a great start. If nothing happens, at least it calls attention to the fact that a lot of people view her as a criminal, and that's really what all she is. So I'm going to pause in my rambling here for another second and see if we can get Vince. I think I need a phone number to give him. Can you send me one on my Facebook maybe? Send it to me as a message there, and I can forward that to him. And anyway, well, on to the next thing. Telly Blackwood also just recently started a new Get Healthy program, and it's remarkably similar to the awakening that I had about 14 years ago. It started with me getting a prescription for blood pressure medicine, and then slowly over time, the blood pressure didn't seem to be helped, and slowly over time my blood sugar started to creep up, and the doctors warned me I'm kind of pre-diabetic, and I should watch that. I should try and cut sugar out of my diet. He'd already told me to cut salt out of my diet, which I later found to be just really horrible advice. It's just I got to type a message to Telly. Okay, so let's see, we have this is live radio, guys. This is just awesome how it goes. And Telly is there, and he's chatting with me a little bit on Facebook. I'm trying to keep him filled in. So I have Vincent, I have you hooked up, and then I'm just waiting for a phone number to send Telly that he could call. So anyway, his story that he's told on a YouTube video that he's put out here. He's going to make a documentary about his voyage from being unhealthy and having to take all his medication for blood pressure and different things, and how he just started eating better. He cut out things that aren't good for him, and he's already lost a lot of weight, and he's feeling better, and he's no longer pre-diabetic, and I'm hoping that he continues on and he does well by this, and he actually regains his health, because this man is an activist, and he's got a great mind, and he's I think he's capable of doing great work. He certainly has got the ear of a lot of people who maybe haven't heard the liberty message up to this time. A lot of people, he has fans that they know him from his wrestling days, and these people know that there's something wrong. They just don't know what it is. And I'm hoping we can get him on here to talk about some of these issues. He's also got a lot of information about Jade Helm, which I think would be very helpful. He's got he says I told him we might want to talk about some of the police shootings. We recently had this was actually just last Sunday. We had a citizen, a resident in the city of Medford, where I live, just about 2 blocks from where I live, who was shot down in the street. And the first reports are that we got were that his gun hadn't been fired, and then later reports were that he exchanged gunfire with the police. And I tend to think that first report was probably right, that he didn't get off a shot. He was just, they drilled him with a bunch of lead, and they had him surrounded, and they just opened fire on him. Um, I think they told him to freeze, and he probably twitched a little bit or started to drop his arms because they were out, and one of them was holding the gun, and someone thought that was a threatening thing. They just started to shoot, and um, I can predict, I think with almost absolute certainty, that the police who are involved in the shooting will face no punishment. They might even be promoted. Who knows? That this will be called a justifiable shooting. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I've never had somebody kind of pointing a gun at me who's, has said that in his parting words to his girlfriend, he said that he was going to go out and kill himself and maybe take a few cops with him. I don't know. She relayed that to the police, so maybe they were a little bit, rightfully on alert. But these guys are wearing bulletproof vests, and they could stand far enough away that they're not an easy target for a guy that isn't a good marksman to hit. And they could get behind their cars for cover. They could shoot him with a tranquilizer dart, for God's sakes. They don't need to just kill him and then rush him to the hospital like they actually cared. And trying to find this guy when he was out walking around the streets, they were going up and down the streets where I live at just huge speeds. And so okay, I'm looking. I'm not finding. Oh, there it is. I wasn't paying attention to chat. Sorry, guys. Now I'll get it to him here. There we go. Yeah, that was a really sad story, and I think he wants to talk about that also as well, because it's not just Medford, Oregon when this is happening. It's happening all across the country, and it's happening to all sorts of people. It's people that are... This guy... let's see. Vince, I think I already have you on Skype, but it's Vince Easley 2. I don't know if that's the right one. Go back to the chat room and see if this is right. Oh, shoot. So, let me hear and just kind of talk out loud what I'm doing so Vince can know what I'm doing. And we're going to add a contact. Other me, okay. And right now Skype is looking for Vince. Yeah. Can't find him. Search options. Find him. Well, I don't think this is working, Vince. E-A-S-L. Oh, I know I was wrong. I misspelled his name. Okay, there we go. And this is in Clinton. Vince? Oh. And I think that's Vince right there anyway. So this is real radio, folks. This is some individuals here trying to conquer technology and bring our guests to the airwaves. And Telly just sent me a message. Give me a minute. I think he maybe is. Okay, so I got Vince. I'm going to add Vince. And let's see where Vince is here. Okay, we're good. We're golden. Let's go back to our call. We're going to add Vince. Vince is going to add to call. There we go. Okay. So we're don't see anything coming up here. Well, we may have to call off and start over again, because nothing here seems to be working. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick hang up and call back the UCY, and so just bear with me for a second, everybody. Okay, I think I'm back on the air here, and we're going to add Vince to this call. And I guess I should add. I should add this mobile number, shouldn't I? I'm calling that number. I hope that's there. And now if... Oh, that was a bad sound. So we'll try Vince. Okay, so I don't know if anyone's out there, if you're coming through at all. This has really been a botched evening. I don't see anybody's pictures in here, so I don't think they're... I don't think they're hearing it. This is horrible. This has been just a bad day for me, I guess. Starting here, my wife came in before the show started, and she needed to talk to me, so I didn't get to do as much prepping as I wanted to. It was a really serious thing that didn't get resolved, and the show, as they say, the show has to go on. So, let's see. Well, let's go on and talk some more about the Hillary Clinton, because I had enough stuff last night or last week that I could have talked for another hour. So, yeah. Well, Duck says he's trying to call in. He got an answering machine. I don't know what's going on. Add me by Skype name. I did. I added Skype easily, and it's just supposed there, but it didn't call you. It dropped you. I'm going to have to hang up and start again. Oh, there you are. There's Vince. Vince, are you there?
Okay. Yeah, we made it. Let's see. Oh, my cell phone number's added in there too.
Yeah, I was my mistake.
Well, is it working? Will that bring Telly in there?
I don't know. I'm going to try and have him call it.
He's already on with me right now.
He is, okay.
So if I don't know if that was possible to add that in there or not.
Well, it added it. It dropped it though. So
Okay. Now is I'm doing some Ozark ingenuity here. I won't be able to hear you guys, but I'm going to set these this down here. Go ahead and give it a test run. Chuck, say something.
okay, can you hear this?
Wait a minute. Let me put this up here.
This is the guy for in action right here. Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay, give it a try, you guys.
Okay, Telly, can you hear me?
Can you hear him, Telly? You can or cannot? What about Chuck? Can you hear him right here?
Well, it's pretty.
Make sure I got the speaker in the right spot.
It's pretty faint.
Let me move it right here. All right. How about say something else, Chuck?
Telly, you were louder that time. So just speak up.
You can hear him faintly. I'll tell you what. I wonder.
I wonder if I
Try
can.
one more time right there, Chuck.
Okay, is this any better?
I might be messing up here. Well, how? I'm afraid I'm double looping you there, Chuck.
You're double looping.
Let me take it off. Let's see here. Let's try something different. And make sure it don't feed back. Okay, go ahead, Chuck. Say something here.
Okay, Telly, can you hear me now? You're coming in.
Go for that.
Oh, it's like the jumping ground sound. Wow, 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 wow.
Say something, Telly.
Well, let's see. What else could we try here?
I think I'm killing it. Well, it didn't work.
I could try and have him call my cell phone and just hold it close to the microphone.
I've done that before. That's what I was trying to do here. So, yeah, try that.
See if I can get that out. Oh, I've got it charged. I tell you, those of you listening to this in the chat room, this must be really painful to you guys. Thank you for hanging on to this.
I'm gonna put my earphones back on. I'll hang on with you here for a few minutes, Chuck, while you're.
I think my phone is dead.
I wonder how this will work if I take all the external speakers off. Try that.
Okay. Is that better?
Name Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels. Yeah, I know Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work.
Giant shadow.
Hey, Telly, call Chuck's cell. You wait a minute, Chuck. You said you don't have any power on it.
No, it's got it now. I don't know why it was showing no power. Now it's showing like 80% power. I don't know what happened. Gee whiz. It's like.
Hey, you got Chuck's cell phone number? Give him a call. Hang up with me and call him.
He doesn't have my cell phone number, but he's going to have it in a second.
Okay, he's going to send you his cell phone number, Telly. All right, I'm going to hang up with you, Telly. There. And I'll plug these things back in. So that killing, I saw something there, and I didn't realize where it was at, but that was up there around Medford then, huh? They showed that video, that cop just executing the guy, right?
No, this I don't think this was on the video. This was it wasn't just a single cop either. There were a bunch of them out there, but it could have been in Medford. I thought the one that was on the line, I think, was a guy in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
That was actually happened last year. So Telly, I'm hooked up. You can call. He can't hear that, can
Not unless I'm getting an echo. Is that on your end?
he? It could be. It shouldn't be mine. I don't have my.
I'm plugged in, right? That should be okay. All right. I don't think I hear me now twice. So let's. I'll go back over here, and I got Tully's bio here. I was looking at him over there this last week. So, like many of us, we don't have any claim to fame, but perhaps Tully does a little more so. He's a professional wrestler, and he, like anybody else, is just a regular citizen that's seen things ain't right in this world. So I think he's taken it upon himself to step out into the media light, in a sense, where he's questioning and then bringing it back and representing it to people. He's a writer and an actor,
Yes.
Filmmaker,
And
he's
for someone, I don't know how much help he gets on it, or if he gets any, or how much experience he has in it. But the films are really pretty decent quality. I mean, I was really impressed with the quality of the picture and everything. The way it was, the scenes were set up, the editing, it would look pretty good.
I haven't seen it, but it's called. I'll go to his.
There's the Paul Revere. I think this is my man right here. So here we go.
I'm going to mute up and stay here in the background with you, Chuck.
Telly, is that you? All right. So we're going to try and, I don't know if this is going to come across real well on the show. We start off, I gave him a little bit of a review of last week's show about Hillary Clinton. And maybe you can tell us, I know that you're setting a petition up to have Hillary Clinton arrested and prosecuted for crimes, and maybe you could go into this while I'm getting ready to introduce talk about your documentary next. So let's start off with the stuff that's...
I'm definitely considering doing the petition to have arrested for, probably for emails. I think delete them perhaps. I'm sharing with the world. I got nothing to hide. Then you turn around and delete your shit. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's kind of a pattern of behavior her whole life. Yeah.
Chuck, can you possibly bring the phone to the mic a little closer and see if we can get a little better sound quality?
It's almost sitting on top of the mic.
That's the problem I was having.
Yeah. So to tell you, you're going to have to talk louder into the... you're going to have to talk louder into your phone. Because my phone's... Samsung, this is a cheap Samsung phone, and it isn't very good. So... So anyway, what he's talking about is that Hillary Clinton has committed crimes that if any of us did, we'd be in prison right now. It's against the law for people in the state, for someone especially the Secretary of State, but people that are in that position, they have a private email server. The email servers have to be government servers so that people can't delete emails that are incriminating, which is exactly what she's done. So she's destroyed evidence that would be used in a criminal case, and she violated the things that are kind of the standards for her office as Secretary of State. And she's... Yeah, she should have been. Should have frog marched her right out of that building.
Yeah, definitely not that. Definitely when she said hides, and then when she found them, deletes them.
Yeah, so she's sharing all this stuff.
Why did you do that for? Yeah, doing some arbitrary drugs over there and caused a bunch of deaths and all some crap. You want no accountability held against you.
Yeah, and it just seems like it's kind of a coincidence that maybe there were some arms deals going on, and the people that were the recipients of these arms deals happen to be very large contributors to the Clinton Family Foundation, and that the guy that was the ambassador in Libya said, I don't want to have anything to do with this, I'm going to be a whistleblower, and so she just had a hit called in on him.
And I'm sure there are countries that back to their documents where everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Now, I was watching the news recently. Now it's supposedly China just had a bunch of servers and every form of government there is, it's got hacked. And supposedly it's traced back to China's government. So.
Now maybe the Chinese have copies of our emails.
Yeah. I don't usually go to CNN for news at all. I usually glance by there to see what kind of BS propaganda is going up there next. I was expecting to find some Bruce Jenner's peanuts or something going on there, but luckily it was something else around for that. But yeah, it says pretty much China has hacked all sorts of systems and whatnot. They traced it back to the government. Blah, blah, blah. So I see where the next little distraction is going to go to. Take it off Ukraine, take it off Russia. Now we're going to screw with China and go fly around some abandoned islands and
yeah.
A little bit increments to keep enough distraction while we'll have to hit maybe something else. For instance, J-Help in the team.
That's right.
So, right now, I see when they're pumping the distractions up on the high, well, I know something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And it's it seems like that's a pattern of behavior. Whoever is pulling the strings of this government, I don't think it's the people in charge that are supposed to be in charge of the government. I think it's somebody that's at a little higher level that is pulling their puppet strings. But that's...
Look at all the choices we have. We have Brandon Paul. Everybody else is an asshole. Who else do we have?
Everybody else has been compromised. They recently put arrested... I don't know if they've arrested Denny Hastert. He needs to be arrested. But, how could somebody who was a high school wrestling coach rise to this position of Speaker of the House in a very short period of time without some help? And the reason they helped him is because they knew he was compromised. He was a pedophile, and they could turn him in any time, so he had to do whatever they wanted. So they wanted him in as much power, as big of a powerful position as they could get. This guy was 2 heartbeats away from being president. And he's a pedophile, for God's sakes.
They're mostly pedophiles who like all the weird stuff,
and
everybody's becoming transformers. Transgender living at home.
Yeah.
I'm going twist on transformers. But whatever, I'm just going to cut in and adjust. I don't give a shit, man. I thought we should be top of the news over other stuff. We're getting close to getting into the war with, Russia and or China. That should be top priority. Get that. What's the top news right now?
Well,
hashtag, give me a break.
Unfortunately, we wasted so much time messing around trying to get you on here, and I apologize for part of this was the fact that I wasn't as prepared today as I should have been. We should have had a test call yesterday and stuff, but realized then I could have asked for phones to be forwarded and all that stuff, but knowing that this one...
We're getting the moving pretty good. So.
Yeah, so I want to talk about your documentary that you're making about how you're going to improve your health. I mentioned before while you were waiting for a phone to call in that this is very similar to what happened to me. I was overweight. My blood pressure wouldn't come down. It was controllable, but it wasn't normal. And I was pre-diabetic. I had all sorts of chronic aches and pains. I didn't feel any energy at all. And my doctor told me to stop putting salt on my food. That was his advice, and just keep taking these pills. And it didn't work. And I just started to question it. There's got to be, And he said, well, you're going to have to take these pills the rest of your life. And I said, I don't think so. So I started doing my own research. And I started eating better, and I ended up cutting grains out of my diet. That made a huge difference. It took about 3 days, and all of a sudden I had energy just through the roof.
What was your size when you started?
What was my what?
What was your weight when you started?
240 pounds. And I'm about 190 now.
No one might be in 240 right now. That's my goal is right now.
Well, you're a much bigger man than I was. I graduated from high school. I was 6'2" and I weighed 135 pounds. But I filled out a little bit over, between my graduation date and when I
beer days.
Something. But I think my natural weight's somewhere between 185 and 195, and I'm just about there now. So I'm not doing too much more anymore. But I've talked to lots of people who have had the similar experience when they stop eating grains. So if you haven't considered that yet, you might try that and see what it does for you. I know my digestion's better. I eat as much food as I want. I just eat the stuff that's good for me. I don't eat any crap anymore, and it's really helping me. But that's what were the things that you did? I noticed in your little a trailer that you had for your documentary, you mentioned some stuff, but I'll let you tell the story instead of me talking. So go ahead.
Well, I've always fluctuated between big and bigger most of my life. Well, I was the chubby little Christmas story looking kid, like Rocky looking kid, big, bully, cheese. Not many friends, My main friend was my Atari. I was into computers and electronics, video games especially. Oh man, you could pull me out of an arcade with a damn monkey in the room, But like I said, I always struggled with it off and on, and my older years. I don't know, my lowest weight was probably like 215, 220 when I was in ninth grade. But I was also over 6'2" and big football player size, played football and everything. But after I became a dad, had kids, and settled down, and my jobs into active anymore, I became a security guard, and that's why I was sitting around, standing around, and forgot doing anything, anything fun. Then I got to meet a wrestler, and I was up and down for a long time, and especially after I made television debuts and started doing TV shows and all that kind of stuff, and I started partying a lot more and being out of control and started getting fatter and fatter, and I started drinking a lot. So it kind of was spiraled out of control there, I was up to the 420 area, 421 zone. That was probably 4 months ago. And so, I was fine, I was tired, no energy. I drank 2 liters of soda a day, the fast food bullshit, junk food. And the father doctor said, hey, you're going on your bed to get all these problems. It's like keep your ass, you're not going to make it very far. Hurry up. I'm 39 at 40 in December. So I'm like, well, I got to get my shit together, So I started searching around and, find some things here and there, and, just kind of gimmicky and BS. I had some buddies over there over at Infowars, supplements, some natural stuff. They were selling from that little healing center, Dr. Group.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah, and so, they sent me supplements at first. I started taking those, took the oxy powder and clean my colon right off the bat, and that was an experience. But, so I was 17 pounds in a couple of weeks, just on the oxy powder alone. Then I started getting some other products, and finally I said, well, hey, I want people to know I am already. Maybe instead of making funny movies and doing dumb shit, I can finally do something inspirational and help somebody.
Yeah, the thing about that oxy powder, a lot of people think it's just something to flush out your system down there, but it isn't just that. All that undigested food that's just sitting in there and it's not doing anything, it really slows down your absorption of food. So it makes you hungry, and you constantly are craving food because you're not absorbing any nutrition because it's all packed in with this other food. So that oxy powder, by cleaning you out, it makes your colon function like it should, or not your colon, but your whole digestive tract, small intestines.
A lot of people don't realize, that was all compacted and was just pretty much attached and became part of your life. This whole thing from next door
Yeah, so you got to get that stuff out of there so you can start absorbing food again,
Okay. So
nutrients.
yeah, that's how that product alone, and that's how you can add food source, start producing, and then call home at the gym and say, hey, Dad, this movie, that's 24 hours, this we have me movie, and the local sponsor membership, any funding privileges in there, pretty, killer.
Now, I know one of my Facebook friends is listening because he sent me a message during the show here. He's listening in. I think he's had a lot of similar experiences to my experiences and to your experiences. He was kind of overweight and he's kind of lived a fast lifestyle and did a lot of bad things to his body. But he's kind of getting himself straightened out. And Corey says, "I tip my hat to you. You're doing a great job." He's eating better foods. And that's really the key. I mean, you kind of get out of your food, or you get the nutrients that are going to be in your food. And if you're eating something that's processed food or it's fast food, there are not a lot of nutrients in those foods. So they fill up your stomach and you don't feel hungry for a little bit. But as soon as it gets to your digestive tract, they say, "Hey, wait, where's the nutrients?" And so immediately you start craving food again. So you tend to overeat, and then that causes you to put on a lot of weight.
Well, to make it simple, what I did was I quit fast foods. I quit sodas and high fructose corn syrup. Put that totally out there. I started doing the juicing, tried to get as weight down possible. I took on some powder, so taking one of those products when I'm exercising. And so it was only like a 3-month period. I went from 421 down to 368.
And that's amazing weight loss. 3 months.
And it was a lot. And so I was having a lot of problems moving around and everything else, and I was getting way down. I feel less more shit. So after that time, I actually did that as on the pilot for the world trailer that they were doing the better run. I went through that whole, 5K course, jog, and 26 wall, and all sorts of guys my size don't do it. It was still not even half of my weight. I was out there climbing the wall, doing my crazy shit.
Yeah, your energy level really increased.
So at that point, I decided to film my movie in 3D, so all that earlier stuff, like the bus factor around, all that stuff just became trailer material, and it's really whatever, but everything's being done in 3D now, so I'm getting all new stuff.
Now, how did you stumble into the film career? Did you always do a little bit of this at some point in your life and just got better and better at it, or you just have a natural talent for it, or whatever? Because
I've always been involved with some type of video editing and making of some kind. Even when I was younger, I had a little camera and actually recorded black and white video onto cassette tapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like really young. I was trying camcorders.
Well, you do a really good job for somebody that's kind of like coming to this at age 40 in his life. And I said he's either getting help or he just has a natural talent or he's done this before because no one just starts out this good. You're doing.
It was done for a while until I made my first little film in 8th grade. Actually, I think 7th and 8th grade. I had a little class and put the film together. And I really was just a matter of expenses and editing. It was a little different. I eventually got my hands on Grass Valley and getting older program. But we were kind of in probably during in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's around the early high school, actually. That was premiere. But it took a while to learn. I've put pay-per-views nationwide. I have at least 3 or 4 titles that's been nationwide pay-per-view. That have all together in such projects. Got me fights and bone fights and things like that. Helping over the years. So I've been involved in all sorts of, entertainment, ghost hunting and, from wrestling to ghost hunting to tattooing to, I'm a man of many trades. Yes,
and you're pretty good at this one. I think that's a good post-wrestling career. I had another question here kind of related to this a little bit. is one of the movies you made was just a short 5-minute movie for the Alex Jones Paul Revere contest, and it got over 500,000 views, and then it got taken off of YouTube. We've got a few minutes here. If you can kind of tell our listeners this story, that's a good story.
I was an Alex Jones fan for a long time, even before the Meet and Great stuff, which I actually did a film contest for 9 channels when I did the Meet and Great video with one of your songs. Well, for a long time I did an interview contest, but the Ball Beer contest, I had one in production and one of them, so I had Peter Ted's costume for all my cards, so I'm trying to do a little reenactment futuristic before George Washington. So, the time traveler, and he goes and asks Paul Revere, take Michael Moore, kidnap Michael Moore and Piers Morgan, takes him into the waterboards in the bong water. And it was a little comedy. It wasn't, they kind of spoofed. I played Michael Moore, and they kind of spoofed everything, and it was funny. It was, a political comedy, which I did, the very first one ever put out of its kind. And it was just taken off like crazy. But Michael Moore finally got pissed off, and they got a message from him saying, "You guys are a bunch of dicks," or something like that. I thought that was pretty cool. I sent it in, and they did an article on it. It was just all nothing. At one point, it got over, I believe, a couple million before it was just shut down. All of a sudden, my YouTube was shut down, my Google accounts, everything was gone.
So I was looking at it today and said 800,000. So that's when they reinstated your channel, that had 0 again, huh? So it had over 1 million before, and now it's up to 800,000.
When I came back online, it was like 600,000. When I came back online, that's after I already had 2 million views on. I can't remember how much it was. Okay, going back here, but it was views. Oh, I bought it was like 6,000 something, 600,000 something.
Wow.
That was after everybody started seeing it.
So and it's still, like I said, I just checked it today, and it's well over 800,000. So it's probably going to hit 1 million again sometime in the future. And that it was just a funny little thing that you did, and it was pretty comical, the bong water. But it starts to make people think that George Washington would consider these people traitors. He would consider them they don't deserve this country, and that's kind of what I got out of it. And Piers Morgan, he kind of got kicked out of Britain because he was such a scumbag, and he comes here and he's just an equally big scumbag here too, I guess.
After Alex Rampant and Gillen and gave us a good reason to for a second. After that, I thought, well, hey, this guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
After that, later,
Yeah.
late 1960s, late night infomercials are getting better ratings than Piers Morgan.
I know. We've had a couple of shows here that they're not going to get up to his ratings, but they're going over the internet only. They're not on a big TV network, but they're like 10% or 10 or 15% of the kind of ratings he gets for a couple of our shows that we've had. Not all of them are that highly rated, but we had Clive and Bundy on. That was a big show. We had a show the other night about a cashless society, and that one has had a lot of people have seen that. That's about, I think it might be upwards 4,000 or 5,000. That might be a little bit high. It's hard to tell because you don't know how many people really listen to it live, and the counts that you get from the other services aren't always accurate. But it seemed we got at least 2,000 for sure, and we usually figure we got more than what they report. So, and not everybody listens to it all the way through either. That's the problem, I guess. But it's amazing that you're having. It's not really that amazing, but I guess it's because you have talent. But it's amazing that there's other things you could have done in your life, and you've kind of chosen to become like a Paul Revere. You're out there bringing the truth to people, and you have a lot different audience than most of the traditional people that are out there trying to wake people up. You have fame as a wrestler, and that's
Yeah, it was an adventure. Yes, I had the crowd days, Jackass crowd days. I had multiple little ones inside a little ICB band days. That's what all of that kind of put together into one. But when I finally made the decision to speak out against the corruption and bullshit, I just got tired of it. And I guess I want to say I was liberal. I was to a certain point that more is my ignorable, but I just don't know what I was taught. I didn't really question a whole lot. The whole 9/11 thing was hard to hear because the first thing that really kind of got me started looking around. I saw all the discrepancies and I saw all the bullshit, and I'm like, yeah, something's not right. So
yeah, I know.
So that started, and it went on to Alex at DMV doing the fingerprint thing. I went to PB Grove, but it was kind of just grew from there, went out of control. But the thing is most of my fan base, this is kind of extreme from them. So after the Paul Revere video went out, that whole thing went down, I said, yeah, I think the gun rights and everything, and Michael was a douchebag, and Pierce Murray was a blowhard or whatever, So I was like, that was it. After I kind of came out that political corner of it, most of my fan base was gone. I had so many hate emails, or why did you do that? Well, how can you be for guns and kill people? Well, that's not so lame. Sure, thousands and thousands of emails. People have confronted me, and my fan base has kind of disappeared from that whole time.
Well, it's they still. Well, I think we are having. The show is coming to an end.
So one more time with feeling you're bound to break.